Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art. Today we're going to do some gel printing. And I'm going to be using the new stencil from Rhonda Donna, the designer over at PM Artist Studio. And she calls this stencil I'm going to be using Hydrangea. It's very, very beautiful. And what I'm doing now is just creating a couple of backgrounds so we have some bases to print on. I really like this Luscious krill fern color. And I got a nice pull there. And over on the right, where I am, what I'm using as a brayer off sheet are book pages. And basically I am just coloring them so I have some nice, fun, painty papers to play with when I need them. And I'll show you some other ways in the video how I use up the paint as much as possible. Oops. And I'm just using a copy paper today, just plain white copy paper, nothing fancy. Doing some quick pulls in the background, and you see there's enough where I get another background. And that way, there's no paint waste. So here's the stencil, Hydrangea. Again, it's designed by Rhonda Donna, and you can find it over at pmartiststudio.com. For the base layer, before I put the stencil down, I'm using Amsterdam's Primary Blue, and it's a transparent paint. And it's really a nice blue color. It's essentially cyan. I just lay the stencil down, and then I come in with one of the backgrounds I created earlier and pick up the paint through the stencil and get that design on one background, and then when I take the stencil off, I'll have another print that I can put onto another background. This one I decided to go with just the white paper because I realized that if I put the background down on the plate after I pull the stencil up, it's going to leave a much nicer, it's going to be a much nicer print. Here I'm using some carnival tissue that's just that I did one of the background pulls on. And that's what the design looks like when you pull it through the stencil. So this is the design that I want to put on my background. This is why it's important to get one of those plexi plates for your gel plate, because you can easily pick it up and center it and put it right on top of your print, and then you're not guessing and getting it all crooked. So you see, that's really, really nice and crisp. Here I'm taking a couple of book pages, my painty book pages and just going over the back of the stencil with the brayer and picking up any extra paint that's left on the stencil. It's time for some metallics. This is copper from the Liquitex Basics collection that I'm using, and I'm just keeping it simple. I'm not mixing a bunch of colors, just, you know, trying to do a straightforward gel printing session, so you get the idea of how it works, you know. And then once you get the hang of it, that's when you want to, you know, you experiment with the different colors and mixes and, you know, all sorts of stuff. I decided to go with the copper because I thought it would look really good with this particular background, because it's got like a an aqua green sort of teal color going on, and I think the copper is gonna look really good. Now we'll take this print and put it on another one. It's a similar background, and this time we get the outline of the stencil. And the reason I'm using that wooden Baron is because you saw there like the bubbles and stuff. The Baron helps to get everything nice and smooth and even, with even pressure, so you get a nice clean pull like that. That purple paint just splattered all over the plate. That is a dioxazine purple from Liquitex. It's not a transparent like some other dioxazines, but I'm adding some color shift in the purple flash. Now here I'm going to do a third layer on this particular background, and it gives me a funky effect, but I really like it actually, how it turned out. Now there's still some paint left on the plate, so I'm picking it up with the first print I pulled with the blue paint. And it's really cool because it gives it kind of a 3D effect, if you can see. Now I need to decide what I want to do with this particular one, what color the next layer is going to be. And I think I want to go dark. Dark it is. We're going to go with some black, and I think that's the Liquitex Mars Black because it's nice. It's nice and dark. Now, since I did use, more paint than I probably should have, I'm gonna pick up the paint through the stencil with some carnival tissue, and that's gonna give me some cool papers that I can spray and get a really cool effect. So you see there's a lot of white space there that when I spray it, it'll pull in all that color and just make a really cool print. So good. And I'm gonna take the print with the copper on it and lay this bad boy right over it, and it should fill in those lines of the greenish teal color coming through. And you notice these are quick pulls. There wasn't really any drying time. I did that on purpose to show you that you can, do that and not have to let the print sit, for days. But it's important that you have a very conditioned jelly plate. And I use baby oil on mine. You can use mineral oil too. So what I'm going to do in this last part of the video is I'm going to go and go through each print, and I'm going to glaze each one with a thin layer of paint. And here I'm using the color shift in raspberry to go over this kind of 3D-ish looking print. And I love what it does because it gives it a really subtle pink background. And a nice shine too. I'm using the color shift dragonfly color to get a nice glaze on. I believe I'm going to use that tissue there. And when you're glazing, you don't want a very thick layer. You want to keep it as thin as possible because you don't want it to overpower the print. You just want to give you that extra oomph. You'll see when I start to wiggle it for you how cool that glazing, how it just made it really just awesome. And for this one I'm using, I believe that's the golden yellow iron oxide. And I have to admit, this one I put a little bit more than I should have, but I still like the print. it's not too bad. I like it. And for the next one, I'm just, I don't think I do anything with this one. I think I like that one as is. So I'm probably going to leave that one alone. And for this one, I'm going to use the golden interference paint, and it's a green interference that shifts to orange. It's very interesting. I got it like on clearance at the art store, but it's really cool. It's a good effect. And these are obviously transparent paints that I'm using to do the glazing, especially these ones from Golden. There you go. It's a nice subtle effect, but it looks really good, especially when you get it close up. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial using Rhonda Donna's new stencil, Hydrangea. And again, you can find that at pmartiststudio.com. And when you give them my discount code, you get 10% off your purchase. And I will list all the information in the description box below the video. Thanks so much. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.